Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayar chitumicchati tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. Whichever devotee in whatever way wants to worship me, in whichever form, I give them the faith in that form out of my compassion and grace. All of us cannot worship the same God in the same way. Across the world, people think of God in different ways. For some, it is a maternal form. For some, it is a fatherly figure. For some, God is a friend. For others, God is a king or an emperor. Some people, they think of God as no form, no name, but a force or an energy. Then there are other tribal cultures which worship all kinds of gods, from stones to insects to animals to trees, mountains, rivers, earth and sky, sun and moon. So many people in so many ways have been worshipping God, searching for God, trying to experience God. So Shri Krishna says nobody is right, nobody is wrong. All are fine. And I give them the faith in whichever form and name they want to worship. Because the most important ingredient for this spiritual journey is faith. And unless you have faith in something, you can't even live your life. You can't live a life faithlessly. You have to have faith in yourself, your people around you, and God above all, and God of any kind that suits your temperament. Bhagavan used to give an example that when you want to make shirts out of white pieces of cloth that are given to you, you go to a tailor, the tailor cuts it to your size. And that is how you can wear that. You can't just wrap around a piece of white cloth and walk around. A tailor needs to stitch it to your size, cut it and stitch it to your size. So that is the idea, that everyone needs a personal God. Even though God is formless and nameless, everybody needs a personal God, a personal relationship with God, and that personal relationship is very individual. You cannot replicate it all, or you cannot copy it, and you cannot imitate it. Everybody has their own understanding, their own relationship, their own experience with God. Like the Gopikas, we saw it in Krishna Leela. They would want Krishna all for themselves. Initially, they were selfish. They wanted Krishna all for themselves. They didn't want to share Krishna with the other Gopikas. So they were desirous of Krishna's company. And what did Krishna do? He multiplied himself into many. And whole night as they performed the Rasa Leela, they thought each one of them felt that Krishna was only dancing with her. So in the morning when they were all returning after the Rasa Leela was over, two Gopikas were talking. One of them said, "Oh, happy that whole night Krishna was dancing with me." The other Gopika said, "I think you're hallucinating. Krishna was dancing with me all night." He said, "No, it was with me that Krishna was dancing." Then a third Gopika joined and said, "You both are just blabbering. Krishna was actually dancing with me all night." And each of them started fighting with each other, saying that you are right, you are wrong. So they all went to Krishna, it seems, to ask with whom was he dancing, who is right and who is wrong. Krishna said, all are right, all are wrong. All are right because, yes, I was with each one of you. And all are wrong because I was with none of you. I was myself. All the Krishnas that you thought you were dancing with were not even there. That was your bhakti that made you feel that you are dancing with me. I was there in the center all by myself. But each one of you felt my presence in your dance because you had that faith that Krishna is dancing with me. You desired that Krishna was dancing with you. So I did not, say, make clones of myself or replicate. It was an experience that each one of had. There was no physical Krishna in flesh and blood dancing with the next Gopika. It was just a feeling of Krishna being with us, and that feeling was so strong that it made them experience Krishna being with them. And so nobody was right, nobody was wrong, he said. So this faith and this relationship with God is unique for each one of them. I don't know whether I told you this story. It seems once 20 of them came to Puttaparthi, 20 young people. So first day Bhagavan went and asked them, how many of you have come? That was his typical question. Before he gave an interview, he would ask, how many are there? Because he has to plan the space and inside the interview room. How many of you have come? They said, 20 of us have come. He said, what? You have forgotten me. Was I not with you? They said, sorry. 21 of us have come. 20 of us and one you. So 21 of us are here. Very happy. Next day he again came to the same group and said, how many of you are there? They were now ready with the answer. They said, 21, Swami. How? 20 of us and you are with us, so 21. Then Bhagavan said, am I not with each one of you? They said, of course, yes. So how many of you are there? Swami, 40 of us are there. 20 of us plus you with each one of us, so total 40. Are very happy. He walked away. Third day he came and asked, how many of you are there? Now they knew the previous answer. They said, 40 of us are here. How come? He said, 20 of us and 20 you, each with each one of us. He said, but are we all not one? They all said, of course we are all one. So how many of you are there? Only one, he said. That's the right answer. The right answer is only one. All other answers are wrong answers only. So each one has a faith and a relationship with some god or goddess. So how many gods and goddesses are there? Only one, even at the end. That is Ashtavakra, that is Advaita. Worship in whatever names and forms you want. It's perfectly okay. And Krishna has no problem with that. You put Krishna's statue in front of you and then chant Rama's name, he has no problem. You put Shiva's statue and chant Narayana's name, Shiva has no problem. Nor Narayana has a problem if you chant Hanuman Chalisa in front of his photo. It is your relationship that you are celebrating. But at the end, let us not forget that beyond all these names and forms and all these relationships and personal experiences, the ultimate reality is only one. How it is one? In that one, there is no devotee and no God. They also become one. Like these 20 boys and that one Bhagwan, ultimately there is only one. And 20 do not exist. The example you have promised to you, there is one, and after that, as many zeros you want, you can put. The whole world is zero. It doesn't exist. It appears to exist. But it gets the value because there is one standing in front of all the zeros, like 100 days. If I remove the one, what is left? Two zeros. So he said, all the things of the world that you experience are zeros only, he would always say. Now, he would tell about Advaita so simply that we won't even realize that he has told us a great truth. It was told so very casually, playfully, that you would miss the very truth that he was explaining, which is, without that one, the zeros have no value. But the moment you put one in front of the zeros, the more zeros you add, the greater is the value. From 10 to 100 to 1000 to 10,000 to a lakh, a crore, millions, billions, trillions, all those zeros have a value only because of that one which stands in front of all the zeros. So the Jnani looks at the world, he looks at the zeros and he looks at the one, and he realizes that because of this one, all these zeros have some meaning. Otherwise, this life and this world is meaningless. Pursuit of this world is like chasing mirage. It appears that it exists, but it is a zero. It appears to have some value, but there is no value. There is nothing real over there. Without the experience of the divinity, All the experiences of the world are zeros only. I have been very rich and popular and famous and strong and powerful. All these are zeros. You haven't experienced the self, you haven't experienced divinity. So, all this is a big zero because you haven't got that one without which all these zeros have no value. But once you have that one standing with you, that experience of the self, all the experiences of the world start having a new meaning. There is no good or bad about it. It is there. So one sees through all these experiences as they just are dreams or they are just some kind of magic show, illusion. Without the realization of the self, everything is just a zero. Doesn't matter whether you have it or you don't have it. But once you have that one, once you have the divine experience, whether you are educated, whether you are wealthy, whether you are powerful, rich, beautiful, everything starts making sense. Why? Because everything is used for the service of the divine, to express the divinity and to do good to everyone. Otherwise, wealth, power, fame, position can be very corrupting. Not only corrupting, they are very dangerous too. Bhagavan used to say, it is very dangerous. Politics without principles, science without humanity, education without character, and pleasure without purity. All these are not only harmful, but they are positively dangerous, he used to say. But once you realize the self, the same power becomes protection for the weak and the meek. The same wealth becomes charity to the poor and the underprivileged. The same knowledge becomes a guiding light for the uneducated, the illiterate. The same spirituality becomes a force to transform others. The same pleasures that you have become mere illusions without real enjoyments in them. So, this is how a Jnani lives. He sees the one self in all, and everything else he looks at them as zeros. And if he does not experience the self, it doesn't matter to him. Hanuman went to Mother Sita. Means after the war, they came to Ayodhya, and Rama was giving gifts away to everybody. When it came to Hanuman's turn, Mother Sita wanted to give. So she removed her pearl necklace, which was gifted by her father, I believe, and gave it to Hanuman as a gift. This Hanuman started biting every pearl and then putting it to his ears, and then biting the next one, putting his ears. Sita got a little irritated. After all, you have not given up your monkey habits. You are biting everything that I give. This is such an expensive pearl necklace given by my father, and you have no value for it. What are you trying? The Hanuman said, I am trying to see if there is Rama's name in each of these pearls. I can't hear Rama's name in any of these pearls. So these are of no use to me. So he threw away the necklace. Sita got very upset. She said, how is it possible that Rama's name will be inside the pearl? It's a pearl after all, it's a piece of jewelry. He said, no, unless there is Rama in everything, I do not accept it. What do you mean? Then he plucks a hair out of his body and puts it close to Sita's ears. And from that hair, Rama, 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 Rama name is, heard in that hair of Hanuman. He said, that is how I live. In everything of mine, there has to be Rama. Otherwise, I am not interested. Jnanis are like this. In everything, they have to experience the self. If they don't experience the self, in the sense, some people are there with them who are not spiritual, or things that come to them by non-spiritual ways, they will reject it. They won't accept it. When you go to Shivalingam and Umameshwara Swami temple, when you offer water, Abhisheka to Shiva, you don't collect water from sewage drains and offer to Shiva. That is also water only of some kind, but you collect water from pure sources, from a good river or a well which is clean and pure. Only then Shiva will accept it. Offering to God our thoughts, words, and actions are, if they are not full of Rama, if they are not full of divine feelings, it's like offering dirty water to Shiva for Abhishekam. It won't work. So, purity of thought, word, and action is the basic fundamental need to progress on spiritual path. If you don't have that, all else is a drama. It's a show. It's not going to work. And God can see through all the drama, all our fakeness. And He will only accept what is real. He can eat Shabari's bear, in the sense the berries that Shabari bit, tasted, and if she found it sweet only, she offered to Rama. Lakshmana was losing his temper. What is this she's eating and offering? This is not the right way. Rama said, doesn't matter. In her sincere faith and devotion, she is biting and checking whether it is sweet and then offering. That is her way of expressing her devotion. He eats that. Krishna goes to Vidura's place, eats the plantains and Vidura throws away the fruit and feeds him the skin. And Krishna eats it. The other day we were showing when Yashoda was being, told by the other gopikas that your son is coming and stealing butter from our homes and drinking all the milk and curd. Yashoda tells Krishna, why do you do that? We have enough at our home. Why don't you eat this? Why do you go there? He says, your butter and ghee is full of that motherly attachment. Theirs is pure devotion. So I don't like the taste of this. I like it that way. God is like that. Like Shankaracharya, who said, I am caught in the jaws of the crocodile, and unless you permit me to take sannyasa, I will not survive. And the mother says, to survive, that is more important for me. Don't worry about sannyasa. And she agreed. Likewise, he said, he won't eat unless and until you make it an offering to me, and he will partake it as a prasadam. You can't feed him directly. So that was agreed upon. Finally, that rule was put in place. So after his offer to Bhagavan, whatever is there, I will eat it as a prasadam. That he will clean up the moha, the attachment. So spiritual people are like that. In everything, there has to be spirituality. Otherwise, they won't eat, enjoy anything. For them, these things don't matter of this world. Whether it exists or does not exist does not matter. And they are okay in all situations, in all places, times, because they believe that God is wanting them to be like that. So they don't complain. Last shloka before we close was 18.11, where he said, Swaraje bhaiksha vritto cha labha alabhe jane vane nirvikalpa subhavasya na visheshosti yoginaha. For the yogis, there is no speciality about anything. Or today we have got nice things to eat, so we jump in joy. Tomorrow things are not good, we complain and cry. This doesn't exist for these yogis. Like Shirdi Baba would mix up everything and make it into a ball, a morsel of food and eat it. The sweet, the sour, the tangy, the bitter, all tastes. He won't care. So these people, whether Swarajya, they are ruling a kingdom, Bhaiksha Vritto, or begging on the streets, whether they are Labha, means they are enjoying some profits, or Alabha, losses, they are in Jane, means amidst the society, or Vane, in the forest. Nirvikalpa Svabhavasya, the one who has no choices left in life. I like this, I don't like this, does not exist. Such a person does not treat anything or anyone as special. Everybody is equal, everything is equal, all situations are same. Sri Rama was to be a prince. Next day he was told, you are going to go to the forest. Third day he had to agree to that and told mothers that I am leaving. And then wife joined him and then they went through whatever. Then he came back. Bharata said, you are the king, I will not be the king, you become the king. He became king again. Then there is a situation that he had to confront, let go of Mother Sita. He allowed that to happen. So in all situations he was okay. As long as it is divine will, I am perfectly okay with it. No problem with that. So that is the kind of attitude with these great ones live. Page number 122, shloka number 12. For such people, these ideas of right and wrong do not exist. So it says, Kva dharmaha, kva cha va kamaha, kva cha arthaha, kva vivekata, idam kritam, idam neti, dvandair muktasya yoginaha. For these people, what is dharma? This is right, that is wrong. Or what is kama? This is desire, that they want something, they don't want something. Kvacha artha, that is wealth, another name, fame that comes. Kvacha vivekata. Vivekata means discrimination, differentiation between this and that. These dualities don't exist for them. So dharma, adharma, or kama or akama, artha, anartha, or viveka or aviveka, these ideas don't exist because everything is same for them. Everything is same for them. What do they, if you see two different things, then you can differentiate between the two. But you see only one. When you see only one, where is the question of you choosing? Like I just said, if you go to a shopping mall and You have only one size shirt, one color, one design, and somebody says, "Sir, choose any one of these 10." He said, "But all 10 are the same, isn't it? Where is the question of me wasting time on choosing? Because they are same, so I'll just pick any and go." That is the idea. That is the idea, that they do not have this idea of this and that. Everything is okay. This is not at the physical level that they see. At the spiritual level, they feel the oneness with everything. So they don't feel this is dharma, dharma, kama, kama. All these dharma, artha, kama, moksha, which is the rule book for the regular ones. You follow dharma, then you earn wealth, then you fulfill desires, then you attain moksha. Do it right. These are all for those who have not yet graduated. They have to go through the classes. But those who have already graduated, passed, and are wise, they don't need to attend the classes anymore. They are already knowers of the subject. Why should they go through the rules? So these people are exceptions. Many people who look at them in the world, they'll see, why are they not following? They are telling us to follow, but they don't follow. This is how we complain about teachers and those who are the great ones. We say, they don't follow anything, why you are asking me to follow? They are asking you to follow because you have not yet become a great one. Once you become the great one, you also don't have to follow any rules. Everything is okay. Whatever you do is dharma, whatever you say is satya. But till you become one, you can't compare with them. Once Adi Shankaracharya was going, he was thirsty. So he asked for something to drink. So the village, a shop was there. Toddy shop means this village liquor shop. So they had only liquor there. So they offered a pot of liquor. He drank it all. And then his Sishyas thought, my goodness, Adi Shankaracharya drank liquor. It means now we also can drink liquor. What's wrong? Because he is our teacher, he drank liquor, we also will drink. After some time, they drank some liquor, I'm sure. After some time, he was thirsty again when they were walking. There was an ironsmith who was melting iron and making things out of it. So he asked him, can I have something to drink? He said, all I have is molten iron. So he took that and drank that also. Now the Shishyas were confused. What should we do? So these ignorant, idiotic, stupid people, they compare themselves with the Gyanis and say, he is like that, we also should be like that. Why he is enjoying this, why we should not enjoy? But have you achieved anything at all to even compare? They are ignorant. They look at the Gyani who looks like one of them, but he is none of them. However, these ignorant people start comparing on the external things. Why should we also not be like this? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Why is he not following? He doesn't need to follow. He's already attained moksha. So why he needs to go through the Dharma, Artha, Kama step by step? He's already reached. So these exceptions are because of his nature and his achievement of the self. All others cannot just compare the outside and say, we also won't follow any rule. That doesn't work. Why? Because you have to reach there. Only then you become capable of handling it. Once you handle it, once you are capable, then there is no rule. If you want to drive a car, the first, initially when they teach, they'll say, okay, start now. Now it's in neutral. Now put it in first gear. Slowly increase the speed. Now change it to second gear. Now slowly increase the speed. Go to the third gear after a certain speed, 40 kilometers. Don't go to the fourth gear. This is all. No, but fourth and fifth gears are there. No, but not for you. But my teacher is going in fifth gear. He is going at say 100 kilometers per hour. Why should I not go? Why should you not go means you don't know how to control the car at 100 kilometers per hour. That's why you should not go. No, 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 I also want to go from now only. So they will not listen. They'll break the rule and go to the 100 kilometers and go and promptly crash it somewhere. So this is what I am saying. Unless you have that in you, you can't compare yourself with these yogis and gyanis and say, why are they not like this? Why should I be like this? That will be very ignorant way of doing it. Idam kritam idam neti. This to be done, this is not to be done. These are all for the Yagyanis only. These rule books are only for the Agyanis so that they follow some rules, some pattern and then attain Jnana and then they are free from the rules. Why he is not waking up at 4:30 and meditating? He doesn't need to meditate. His life is a meditation. That yogi does what he wants to do. A story I read somewhere in a book of Aghoris. This Aghori was a very shy in a way. He didn't want people to come anywhere near him. So he will always carry some stones in his the cloth that he will tie around his waist, copin cloth. He will put some small stones in it. Because the moment he sees people approaching, he'll remove stones and start pelting them with stones. Because he didn't want them to come any close to him. He wanted his solitude, he wanted his peace. He knew these fools will come and bother him like that. So he'll take stones and start pelting them. That's why people don't come near him. Once somebody reached out to him, somehow managed to come. And that time this Aghori was wanting to eat something. So what he did is that he caught hold of a corpse, a dead body which was floating in the river, dragged it to the shores, took one knife, chopped a little bit of flesh from the corpse, then let the corpse float again and put that in a pot and lit fire and was cooking it. Just then this man arrived. He was shocked. He said, "You are a cannibal. You are eating human beings. How can you do that?" He said, "Whatever I wish, I do. I don't need your approval, validation." Then he said, "Do you also wish to eat with me?" He says, "No, I can't eat human flesh. This is horrible." He said, "No, what? Tell me, what do you want to eat?" He said, "Can you give me gulab jamun?" He said, "So be it." Suddenly, sweet smell started coming from the cooking pot, it seems. And he opened the lid and showed there were gulab jamuns boiling, no flesh. What rules can you apply on these people, you tell me? They're beyond rules. What rules can you apply? This you should have done this. They will change things as per their wish because they are so powerful. Because for them, everything is same. They don't bother. There's no difference amongst them. So this is why you cannot compare just yourself with anybody and start saying why they are like this, why I can't be like that. You can't be because you are not them. You are not yet them. Once you become them, then it's okay. However you wish, nobody is going to question you. Lot of these agoris and these fakirs and this babas are there. No? They're so rude sometimes. You really wonder they have any compassion at all. Are they really even gyanis? They are gyanis only, but they're rude to avoid these agyanis who will come and bother them. So they walk away from there. They behave in a certain way on purpose. On purpose. Shirdi Baba was like that. He would throw sticks and stones at people whom he did not want to talk to. And whom he liked, he will feed them with his own hands. How do you tell? He would suddenly get very upset and start beating anybody who is around, throw away all his clothes and run away naked into the street. What can you tell him? Don't do this, do this. Who are we to tell him? But somebody says, no, people used to be there like that. Shirdi Baba is correct. Why? He always lived in a broken Dwarka Mai, never had a proper bed to sleep. He didn't have car and vehicles. He ate only by begging from everybody. And and wore tatters. So, why Sathya Baba has cars, he has a big house, he is living a comfortable life, very well groomed. This, that they compare. I said, who are you to even know what is what? No, Shiva lives like that in Smashana, that is his choice. Vishnu lives in Vaikunta, that is his choice. Both are gods. Both have their own ways. You can't compare one sannyasi with the other and say why this is like that, why that sannyasi is not that. You come with your own list of do's and don'ts that doesn't apply to these people. That is idam kritam, idam neti. This to be done, this is not to be done. You can't tell these people. They are in their own world and they don't depend on you, so they don't care. Why do we behave in a certain way? One, of course, we care for people. Two, because we depend on them. What if they don't like me? What if they reject me? What if they ostracize me? How will I survive? I need all their help to survive in the society. For these people, Swarajya Bhaiksha Vrittova, whether they're in a kingdom or they are begging outside, they don't care. Whatever comes by virtue of it, they're fine. So physically they may not be begging, but mentally they're free from all dependencies. So dvandair muktasya, they're free from the duality. Therefore, these rules don't apply. Till there is duality in your mind, all rules apply. But the moment you have gone to the Advaita, no rules apply to you. No rules apply to you because there is no need for you to follow those rules. You have gone past those. Like I said, first gear, second gear, slowly release the clutch. Not required. You can start off and go to the straight into the 100 kilometers zoom. And no, he can control the car. He will not kill anybody on the road. You and I can't do it, so we better behave ourselves. We follow certain rules. But yes, by doing this, one day you will also reach a state where there is no Dvaita left, no Dvandva left, no duality left, no confusion left. Then you are also free. Who can tell you why did you not follow Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha? Why did you not follow Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa? Why you jumped guns? Why you skipped steps? His wish. When Bhagavan I told, why did you leave your body at 85? He told, my wish. I thought that was rude, I thought. We are all crying and worrying and sad and lamenting, and he says, my wish. Because my tone of asking was wrong. I was angry, so I asked him with anger, because I felt very cheated and deceived and duped, and all that harsh feelings were there. That he said he will stay, but he left early. Why did he do that? How could he do that? All that kind of pent up emotions. So I told, how could you leave your AC? Why did you leave? My wish, he said. Na ishtam. So I was asking, why did you do this? My wish, he said. That I came as per my wish, I'll go as per my wish. Who is anyone to tell me what should I do? But you said this. Now I'm saying this, he said. You said that 85, 96 will be there. Now I'm saying I am going at 85. Who are you to question me? Who are you to question me why you did this? That is how these people are. For an ordinary fellow, they will be crestfallen. How could you break your word? You gave promise, this, that, so much drama. But for a jnani, what promise, what word? It's all written in water. Happens, fine. Does not happen, so also fine. They don't carry any guilt of it. We will write pages and pages, books and books after what all happened, what all did not happen as per the word of God. God has no problem. He can change things like that. Like Krishna and Arjuna, Bhagavan used to tell this story very often. He were walking in the forest, and then there was a, I think, a crow or pigeon was sitting or something like that. And Krishna says, asked Arjuna, what is that? Arjuna said, it's a pigeon. He said, no, it's a crow. He said, yes, Krishna, it is crow. Hey, look properly. It is not even a crow. It is a peacock. He said, of course, it is a peacock. Then Krishna said, you have no brains of your own. Whatever I am saying, you are saying yes to it. I say pigeon, you say yes. You say, I say crow, it is yes. I say peacock, it is yes from you. You don't have any eyes and your own thinking. He said, what will I do with it? If I tell it's pigeon, you will turn it into a crow. If I tell crow, you will turn it into a peacock. It is your wish. Why unnecessarily argue with you? You can do anything. Why will I get into this trouble? So yes, whatever you say is yes to me. Yes, that's it. So that is how these jnanis are. Everything is okay. Today call them, give a big feast, they are not going to jump in joy. Tomorrow you don't feed them anything. They are not going to cry. What is this? What is not? These fake ones are there, no? This halfway through. Neither here nor there. They are the ones who are confused about all the ways of the jnani. They are the ones who keep worrying. There are two agyanis like that, just a joke. They were begging around, and to eat food. One day they found some rich man's house, some party was going on, some marriage ceremony. So rich man gave them 1 kg of nice motichur laddus made in ghee. So they were like very happy. Today we have got a nice feast. Generally they get all leftovers and things like that. Our families also are not very nice to sannyasis. Anything is left over, they'll give. Then these people were very happy. They got 1 kg of laddu. They said, okay, before we eat this laddu, let us do our ritual, prayers and meditation. After that we will eat. They said, okay. So both of them sat under the tree and were meditating. But their minds were on the laddu that was there, and they were waiting to eat all the laddus. But then they have to follow the rules. So they sat meditating. And to show off that, who is greater, the first one meditated, the second one also meditated. And then they came out of their meditation, and the first one said, in my meditation, what happened? He said, tell me. I saw Lord Vishnu come in his Garuda, the eagle, and put me on that and said, come, let's go to Vaikuntha. He took me to Vaikuntha. He showed me around and talked to me for so long. I enjoyed the heavenly comforts. Then he told, now you go back and eat your laddus. So I came back after that out of meditation. He said, oh, what happened in your meditation? Oh, he said, while Vishnu took you to Vaikuntha, Hanumanji appeared to me and he ordered me to eat all the laddus. So I've eaten all the laddus in the meanwhile. Agyanis will fake their experiences also. In today's meditation, I saw this, I heard this, I heard that. All this is fake. The one who has really meditated and enjoyed that peace and solitude won't open his mouth to speak about it. The one who has not understood anything, small little excitement, they'll immediately start looking for somebody to listen to their experience and praise them or feel good and respect them. They look for all these cheap validations. These jnanis don't care. You worship them, you curse them, they don't care. They don't depend on you. No? That is why they don't care. They are in themselves, happy within themselves. Atmanyeva atmanatushta. They don't need anything. So for them, this is right, that is wrong, this to be done, that needs not be done. all these things. Why I'm saying is that people in the world have their own set of do's and don'ts, some stereotypes and molds in which they want all the people to fit, including the Gyanis. Gyanis are beyond that. They cannot be captured in these limited understanding of things. 13th shloka, 124 page. It says, Krityam kimapi naivasti na kapi hridi ranjana yatha jivana meveha jivan muktasya yoginaha. It says, Krityam kimapi naivasti. There is nothing that they do. There is nothing to be done. There is nothing that they do. And kapi hriday ranjana. And their hearts are never attached to anything. Even if they seemingly have done something, their hearts are not getting emotionally involved and attached to it. Yatha jivana meveha jivan muktasya yoginaha. These yogis who are jivan mukta, who are free from the very binds of life, the bounds of life. They are not bound by life and the demands of life. Such people do what is needed to be done for the sake of whatever comes their way. In life, you have to, suppose you are a Brahmagyani, but you are a teacher. You will continue to be a teacher. As Narasimhaji said, no, what were you doing before your Brahmagyana and after? I was cutting wood, fetching water. I continue to do that. There is no change in the outside. Why are you doing that? That's a part of my life. Like Nisargadatta Maharaj used to run some small shops in Mumbai. He had 8 shops, it seems, where he used to sell BDs. BDs are a cigarette like Indian version of cigarettes. And he used to sell that, and that is what he knew for a living. But he went to his guru. His friend took him to the guru. Once he met the guru, he was transformed. He came back. And then he started, he went off for 2 years on a tour of the country and came back. But he did not stop selling the BDs because that is the only thing that he knew. He had to feed his family and feed his body and take care of his responsibilities. He reduced the number of shops from 8 to 1, saying 1 shop is enough for us to survive. I don't need to make profits and become rich. So 1 shop he kept selling the BD till the end. And he continued to preach also. And he was a grihastha married with children, so he couldn't have just abandoned them and walked away. So he took care of them, but with minimal requirement. Jivana meveha. In this world, whatever is needed to be done, they do. They don't run away from the responsibilities, but they at the same time don't get attached. Hridi ranjana. They do not get attached to any of these activities. They seem to do things, they do it very passionately, but they are not attached to whatsoever it is. As I say, I always wake up every day and ask, am I capable of dropping all this without any attachment? If yes, then I should continue this day working for the mission. If one day I feel I don't want to let go of this, I want to sit on the chair and I want to control and enjoy all the authority and popularity and whatever, I think that should be the last day of my work, because that is how Gyanis work. Only when they are unattached do they involve. If they are incapable of detaching, they will not attach themselves at all. If they are incapable of withdrawing, they will not engage themselves at all with anything or anyone or any place. So this I check. This is my personal, what you call, check every day. Am I capable of dropping this all in a trice? If yes, then continue working today also. The day you develop an attachment for your chair, your position, or the place and the people, even though it is all good, I'm not saying it is bad. It is a good thing to do, whatever we are doing. But if that is also being done with attachment, better not do it. So these jnanis work in the world as it's come their way, they have to do. They can't run away from these responsibilities. But at the same time, they were never attached, and whatever is needed to be done just to sustain themselves, they do. That is why Krishna says, Name parthasti kartavyam tishu lokeshu kinchana. I have no duty whatsoever in 3 worlds. If Mahabharata war was fought, who won, who lost, did not matter to Krishna personally. But yet he does. Why? Because he says, Yad yadacharati shreshtaha. The way good people conduct themselves, the rest of them follow. So for that sake, they conduct themselves. And there in Bhagavad Gita also, there's mention of Janaka comes in this particular context. He says that in the old times, Krishna tells Arjuna that you should do your duty without any attachment. Like in old times, Janaka and others were doing. Karma naiva sansiddhi Janakadayaha, he says. Those times, Janaka and the likes used to work and attain perfection in whatever actions they were doing. But why were they doing Loka Sangraha Mevapi? Only for the sake of the betterment of the society. Sampashyan Kartumarhasi. With equanimity, they used to do their job. without getting attached to it. And Janaka's mention comes. Imagine Janaka must have attained such heights of spiritual realization after this Ashtavakra Gita that Krishna in the next avatar, Janaka was the father-in-law of Rama, the previous avatar. In the next avatar of Krishna, Krishna is mentioning Janaka in Bhagavad Gita. That like Janaka, you must do your duty without being attached to anything. You will attain perfection. How beautiful, isn't it? That the Lord remembers the devotee and quotes in the next Janma of his, in next avatar. So be like Janaka. So that is the idea Janaka has learned. Why Ashtavakra is practical? Ashtavakra is not telling Janaka to abandon everything and run away to the forest, become a recluse, and don't worry about what happens to the kingdom, wife, children, nothing. He says, be here, don't go anywhere. Be here, do what is required. You wear your silk saris, no problem, but don't be attached to it. You eat your food that is being served, no problem. You don't have to starve, but don't be attached to it. You do the job that you are doing, your position, your table, your chair, whatever is needed to execute your jobs, perfectly okay. But do not be attached to it. You have a car to travel, you don't have to walk on foot. Don't be attached to it. Have a phone, have the internet connection to do your job and communicate with people, but don't be attached to it. In everything, ask this question: am I attached? Am I attached? If I attached, drop it then and there. Drop it then and there. Anything that you get attached to, drop it then and there. This is a nice sari. Next day, donate it off, please. Because that sari will stay with you forever. That will become the reason for your bondage. So just drop it. Next day, call somebody saying, oh, you have just got married. I have got a good sari. It will be useful to you. Here it is. Take it. The day you get attached to your things in the cupboard or in the bank account or in your house, that is the day beginning of your decline, downfall. Without being attached, if you can handle all these things, do it. Gyanis can do it. So if you can live like that and work like that, you're a Gyani. But if you work and you get attached to everything, this is my table, my position, how can I leave this? Many people don't give up their chairs till the end of their lives, especially in trusts. It's the biggest problem. The Swamijis of the trust and all, they sit on that chair forever because they were so insecure. They feel if they are not sitting on that chair, nobody will respect them. Nobody will give them the next meal. Nobody will ask them how they are. So they hold on to those chairs even though it is not good for everyone because they are so old and feeble and incapable of doing anything. They don't remember a thing, but they don't want to give up the position and power, which is very, very, very dangerous. Why? Because it won't allow the institutions to grow. It won't allow the next generation to contribute. It will stagnate, and stagnation is death. But they will not give up out of insecurity, out of the fear. I have seen that. I have seen that in many organizations. So I always tell, see, do as long as it is to be done by you. When this is not necessary, you should have the detachment to let go. And don't worry about it. Oh, I built it so well. Oh, I cared for it. I nurtured it. I don't know, these fools may just ruin it. No, once you have given up, how does it matter? Suppose you sell your car to somebody. You got the money for it. The car is gone to somebody. Now tomorrow somebody calls and you know what? I saw your car which met with an accident. It's all crashed and gone. He says, it's no more my car. Somebody had bought it. I think he crashed it and he has to suffer. Are you suffering for the car that you have already transferred? You won't. Why? Because it's no more yours. You're not attached to it. Like that, once you transfer the responsibilities, don't go back checking what are they doing, how are they doing, whether they're doing good job, better than me, lesser than me. Nothing is necessary. You should just walk away from that. Should walk away from that. Don't stand there another moment. Once you give a thing away, don't look back. Just walk away. Because if you look back, then there is an attachment. Then you go, I gave you this. How is it now? Is it working? Is it fine? Are you taking good care of it? Not required. Don't ask all these questions. It means you never gave with detachment at all. So this idea of these people is like this. They work in the world, work very hard also, work with all the passion and interest. But they are not attached. I asked Bhagwan. Sometimes, I feel that what an opportunity it was to go there. You know what he told me? నేను పుట్టిన పెట్టిన కట్టిన పుట్టపర్తి మీద నాకు మోహం లేకపోతే నీకెందుకు? The puttaparthi in which I was born, the puttaparthi that I established, the puttaparthi that I built, in that puttaparthi, on that puttaparthi, if I have no attachment, why are you having any attachments? He said. So this is how Gyanis are. They might have worked the whole lifetime for something, but they just drop it like that and walk away then when the time is over. And they don't even look back. Because looking back, there may be the possibility you may get attached again. So then you don't even turn back and look at things. They just walk away. That clarity, that conviction, that detachment defines a jnani. If you have even this much of attachment to anything that you have done or not done or whatever, you cannot be a jnani. Jnanis are absolutely detached. They are very loving, they are kind, they are compassionate, but their love, compassion, kindness is only for that moment. When they are with you, they will show you all the love, compassion. When they go to the next person, everything changes. There is no special treatment to anybody in their wisdom. Oh, no, you treat some people very special, you treat others not. They are responsible for some activities. See, mine is an exception because I am not just a spiritual teacher, I am also a social leader, I am also a CEO of an organization, I am also managing a lot of other activities and events for which I have given my ideas and time. So I have to take care of all these things. I am not just that typical stereotype Gyani who has nothing to do other than roaming, begging, eating, and preaching. No, I'm an exception. So therefore, I have to don multiple hats. So don't confuse one with the other. Oh, he said just now Gyani. Now he's going and meeting the people at the hospital, giving them this. How can the Gyani be? He dealing with money. He dealing with people. He's talking to women. All this is your idea of Gyana. So that does not occur to them because they are not attached to anything. So this is how Gyanis live. Shloka number 14. The same idea it continues. He says, because they have no dharma, artha, kama, moksha, doing or not doing, kritam or not kritam, what else they do not bother about? Kva moha, kva chava vishvam, kva tadhyanam, kva muktata, sarva sankalpa seemayam, vishrantasya mahatmanaha. The one, Mahatmana, the great one, Vishrantasya, is always at rest, always at peace, always steady. Why? Sarva Sankalpa Seemayam. Because he has crossed over the boundaries of all ideas of thoughts and emotions and decisions. He has crossed over. He has crossed the boundary. Once you cross the boundary, the rules of this jurisdiction don't apply, right? If you go to a police station, they'll first ask you, where did the crime happen? Here. They'll say, this is not in my jurisdiction, go to the next police station. File the complaint over there. So it's beyond their jurisdiction, they won't even register the complaint. Like that, once these Gyanis have crossed over these limits of desires and thoughts and emotions and decisions and choosing and rejecting and all these duality, where do these rules apply to them? No rules apply to them. That's under in another jurisdiction, not in the jurisdiction of the world. The worldly rules don't apply to them. So they're Vishrantasya, they're always at rest, at peace. And what else? For such people, Kwa Moha, what is attachment to these people? They appear to be attached, but they are not attached to anything. They appear to be so nice and kind and involved and interested, but they are not actually. They're just at the surface, they're doing what is needed. Kvacha Vishwam, what is this world for them? Nothing, it's just a dream, it's an illusion, they don't care. Kvata Dhyanam, so what is that they have to meditate on? Or this world is Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, let me meditate on this. No need. Because they've seen through everything, they don't need to repeat again and again to themselves about the truth and falsehood. They know it by experience. It's the children who have to do. Suppose some small babies are there, you tell them to start learning alphabets, keep writing A 100 times. The poor child will keep writing again and again and again A. A Jnani does not need to practice 10 times to write an A. He's already got how to write. He'll directly take a pen and write. Suddenly when you do something, you use a pencil first, you draw it, then you correct it, then you use the pen or paint brush and things like that. You don't want to, but somebody an artist, he doesn't need to take a pencil and charcoal first and then do the sketch preliminary, he can straight away dip the brush in the paint and start off because he has achieved it. These rules don't apply. So what is dhyanam? Let me meditate on the self, aham brahmasmi tat tvamasi, not required. Then kva muktata, where is the question of liberating themselves? They are not bound only. So there is no liberation for them. It exists for those who feel bound. Actually, nobody is bound. That is the truth. The washerman's donkeys, we are all. Nobody is bound, but we think we are bound, so we feel that we have to be liberated. For such a person, there is no liberation because there is no bondage. What is bondage? Moha is bondage. Mohakshaya is moksha. Destruction of all your attachments is freedom. Attachments and desires are the reason for bondage. If you have no desire, no attachment, you are free from the day one. These are the people who should be leaders. Imagine if I had to remember all the conversations and all the meetings of all the people in the last 15 years. I'll have to have 5, 10 brains like Ravana, 10 heads, 10 brains. Can't remember this much. But yesterday I was reading a scientific article which says brain remembers insult more than praise. And any insult that brain has undergone will remember for 20 years, it seems. And praise it forgets within a few years. Because whatever the amygdala, whatever the brain's memory is there, the kind of emotions that insult generates, a negative thing generates, that leaves behind a deeper mark and impression in the brain. Whereas the good things, happy things are forgotten easily because of whatever chemical reactions happen. So people remember insults more than good things, right? It's even more difficult to forget all the hurt and the pain and the suffering and insults that one has undergone. But a Jnani is not having that also. He forgets that also, that somebody had insulted, and moves on. This is how their lives are so light and happy. They don't carry this unnecessary luggage. It's how they are so efficient. Why? Because they're always fresh. They're always fresh. They're always clear in their head. They're always light. Their complete capacity is always available, not hindered by past memories and inhibitions and ideas and prejudices. That's why they can achieve so much. How all this is getting achieved? How things are happening? 10-year projects are happening in 1 year. Because you're not carrying all the unnecessary burden of the past. Today is fresh, clean slate. Do what is needed. By evening, wipe it all. Be ready for next day with a clean slate again. You can't write and overwrite over the same slate, right? You can't do that. But most of the Agyanis do that. Carry so much of memory of the past. And on top of that, they keep building more and more memories. The whole thing is a mess at the end of it all. This is not necessary. This is the idea of this Jnani. Where is Moha? Where is Vishwa? Where is Dhyana? Where is Mukti? Sarvasankalpa Simayam. The one who has crossed over the borders, the boundaries of these limits. Such a person is free. Such a person is free. You can't catch hold of such a person. That is the idea. So they are Vishrantasya, always at rest. Even though they are very active, seemingly very busy, but their minds are always at rest, and they are Mahatmanaha. They are the great ones, because there is no need for them to worry about anything. That is the beauty of the Jnana, life of Jnanis. 15th shloka, it says, Yena vishwamidam drishtam sa nasti iti karotu vai nirvasana kim kurute pashyannapi na pashyati. Similar thought. Yena vishwamidam drishtam. The one who sees the world around itself and rejects it and believes that na asti iti karotu vai. He makes himself experience the non-existence of the world, like the mirage. A desert traveler knows very well this is a mirage, this is not real water. He will look at the symptoms or other indicators and decide, no, this is just an illusion. If there was a real water, there should have been trees around, there should have been some habitation, there should have been some huts and people living. None of this is there, only water is seeing, it is just an image, it is just an illusion. He will analyze a little bit and give it up quickly. Vicharam, he'll do vichara and give it up quickly because he knows this is not real. Little bit you have to think deeply. So this person thinks, looks around, says, this is not real. These joys of the world are not real. These sorrows are also not real. These attractions are also not real. Distractions are also not real. None of this is real. It is not real. That's the idea. So nirvasana kim kurute. So the one who has no vasana left, no instincts, no impressions of the past, no desires left. Pashyanapi na pashyati. What shall he do with this world which he does not see at all, even though he sees it? Because his mind is elsewhere. Sometimes somebody is talking to us and our mind has gone somewhere else. Even though the person is talking, we don't hear a word. Because our mind is not focusing on this person. Like that we are seeing something, our eyes are there, but our mind is elsewhere. We don't see at all. It happens many times, isn't it? You will be staring at something, but you are actually thinking of something else. Somebody has to wake you up from your reverie and say, what are you doing? Are you listening? Are you even watching? Are you paying attention? Oh, sorry, I just went off somewhere. That happens to us. Likewise, these people live like this in this world. They seem to be looking at the world, listening, talking, speaking, enjoying, but they are not there. Physically, they might be there. Mentally, they are not there. They are somewhere else. Means, it's not that they are absent-minded, forgetful people. No. They are very, very smart, intelligent. All that needs to be done, they do. But they don't get involved and attached. They only involve to the extent that is necessary and not beyond that. Because they know at the end it's all drama, it's all vague. Like I told yesterday, some girl, the girl gives me a cup of invisible tea, and I have to agree that there is tea, and I have to appreciate. How much should I involve with the tea ceremony? Only to the extent that the child is entertained. So children come with a broken doll. My doll's leg is broken. She is suffering. We have to do something about it. Okay, we'll put a bandage or something. And now my doll is quiet. So to that extent, only Gyanis behave. Beyond that, they don't get involved with the world because it is not real for them. The pains also not real. The joys are also not real. Of course, Gyanis get excited when they are joyful, and they get depressed when they are painful. They come to the Gyanis for solace or succor or relief. These Gyanis pat them and behave as they have to behave with a child, and be done with it. Do they carry, ayo, that doll's leg get broken? Do the Gyani has to suffer? The parent has to suffer? No. Parent may suffer that this girl has broken another doll. Now she'll ask for one more doll. I have to spend on it. That may be the suffering of parents. But is the pain of the doll real is the question. But the child is feeling the pain, no? As if it is real. Doll is insentient. It cannot feel any pain. It's plastic. But the child is feeling the pain of the doll because it is ignorant. Now, how should the parent behave? Do they really feel the pain of the doll? No. Do they really feel the pain of the doll that the child is feeling? No. But they are sympathetic. They understand this child is poor girl, doesn't understand this, she is suffering. So let me make her feel better. That's all. So Gyanis will only talk to you, cajole you, caress you, and give you some few words of solace and advice just for the sake of it. They don't really truly mean it. Because they know what is this person running behind these ideas. These are not real at all. So why should we spend more time than this? But nevertheless, like the compassion of the parent for the child, the Gyanis have compassion for the Agyanis, the ignorant ones. So they at least say good things and try to help them, but they really don't get emotionally involved, is the question. Then, so they pashyanapi na pashyati. Even though they see, they don't see it, as if they see through it. They don't look at it, they look through it. That is the kind of mind these people have. This is what he's saying. One nice paragraph is there on 132 page, the last para, where in the earlier discourse it is said that generally our idea of yoga is what? At the physical level, yoga karmasu kaushalam. At mental level, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. At the spiritual level, samatvam yoga uchyate. Means the yogi should be perfect in his actions, absolutely controlled in his mind, and absolutely equanimous in his heart. These are the definitions from various places. But the real Jnani has no effort in doing all these things. There is nothing like he wants to do. By nature he is like that. That is the idea of Ashtavakra. The earlier ideas of yoga will tell you that you must achieve this, achieve that. Here it says you already are that. You have to unachieve everything else which is not you. So that is the essence of yoga, because he keeps using the word yogina everywhere. So he exists as per the wish of God, as per the will of God. A yogi is here only to express divinity, nothing else. He's like a hollow pipe through which water flows. Beyond being a conduit or an instrument, the yogi is nothing more than that. He has no individuality of his own. He only carries the divine will through him, and no other personal idea, ambition, dejections, none of these exist in him. Then why does the yogi live in the world? As per the divine will. The divine is using the yogi for doing whatever needs to be done, and as long as it is being done, he is doing that. In the doing means he is there to execute it. The 16th shloka, it says, Yena drishtam param brahma soham brahmeti chintayed kim chintayati nischinto dvitiyam yona pashyati. Nice play on the word chinta. Chinta means worry. Chinta also means thinking or meditating. So he used this word in two different contexts, which says, Yena drishtam param brahma. The one who has seen the parabrahma means the self, who has experienced the self. And soham brahmeti chintayat. And the things that I am Brahman only. He only can feel that he is Brahman because he experienced Brahman. So he believes and understands that he is Brahman. Chintayat means he is always meditative on the thought that he is Brahman only, nothing else. So kim chintayati. So where is there for this person to worry about the worldly things? Oh, this is a loss, that is a gain, this is good, that is bad. Where is the worry for such a person? Nischinto, who is absolutely peaceful without any worries. Why? Because dvitiyam yona pashyati. Because such a person does not see the second. There are no two for such a person. So where is the question of choosing or rejecting? Where is the question of one being better than the other? All are same for him. The punyatma, the meritorious people are also same self. The sinners also are the same self. At the surface, they are different, so he behaves differently accordingly. But in his heart, he doesn't see any difference. So, where is the question of worrying about anything who has already experienced the self and always meditative on that idea that he is Brahma or he is the self? So, he does not have that change of mind in different situations and no worries also. That is the idea of this jnani. Shloka comes from Mandukya Karika. Somewhere it is mentioned here. In English it says, Manodrishyam idam dvaitam. All these that you see as two is your mind's creation. There is, in reality, there are no two. It's the mind that sees the two. Yet kinchit sacharacharam. In all the moving and not moving, there is animate, inanimate in the world. Whatever duality you see is because of your mind. In reality, the duality does not exist. But manaso hi amani bhava dvaitam naivopalabhyate. When this mind becomes amani, means the mind disappears or it becomes free of thoughts and ideas, then you don't see two at all. You only see one. Where there seems to be two, there is only one. But Agyanis see multiplicity in unity, whereas Gyanis see unity in diversity, because they focus on that self, which is the ingredient with which everything is made. Like they see the ocean, they don't see the waves. They see the gold, they don't see the ornaments. That is how Jnani's vision is. That is why Samadarshina, he can see sameness everywhere without any problem, which is not possible for the Agyanis. They'll only find differences and fight over it. A Jnani will never be able to fight because he does not see the difference. There's a joke that a person who who had a problem, he always saw two things. His vision was defective, so always saw two. So he went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, my problem is that I always see two. So I do not know how to deal with it." He said, "Please treat me." The doctor said, "Which one should I treat? Right one or the left one?" The doctor also sees two. How can an Agyani help an Agyani? So Jnani alone can help. If I see one, then I can help somebody who sees two and correct his vision. But I am only seeing two. Then how can I help somebody? That is the problem in this world. Agyani cannot help an Agyani. You may be more intelligent than the other person. You may be more senior than the other person. You may be more powerful than the other person, more learned than the other person, more experienced than the other person. But you cannot help the other person because you are not a Jnani. Only a Jnani can help an Agyani. Otherwise, how can you help? That is the problem. A lot of people read a few books and become preachers and teachers, and they confuse the next people also. And then they also revel in this pride that they remember so much and they can rattle out shlokas and they can explain with such great oratory. But I have met so many of them, but the moment I come across, their energy itself tells me that something is not right. It's not complete. In the presence itself tells. And there are Gyanis, you come in their presence, immediately you feel it. They don't have to open their mouth and say a word. The presence itself tells this is Gyani. So how do I know? On the surface, anybody can look like a Gyani. A good ochre robe, few malas, and very good Sanskrit and good oratory, and very intelligent to answer anything that is asked. All that can be achieved on the outside. But the inside cannot be achieved like this. Inside is only through transformation, not from information. And that transformation. So many people earlier used to come and quote many other people, ashrams and all, everywhere they had gone. They'll tell, "Oh, he's so good. Have you watched this video? Have you watched her discourse? Have you watched this?" I told, "I don't need to watch, but anyway, if you say something special I can learn from, I'll definitely watch." But at the end, I realized a lot of it is just idle chatter, like a childish prattle. And there's such desperation to impress the audience, such desperation in that talk, which makes you feel this is not right, this is not real. It is not necessary. All these externalities are required for those who have nothing inside. That insecurity makes them put up so much of show outside and somehow feel that everybody will be impressed and they will accept them and respect them. That desperation is there in them. But Jnani has no problem. He doesn't need to pretend at all. He is what he is. You accept it or reject it is your problem. It is not my problem. You do as you please. I do as I please. So it's up to you. They don't care. That is why they don't have to work so hard to impress anybody. They can be just themselves. If people get impressed, it's up to them. Don't get impressed, that is also up to them. So it is not Jnani's way of living a life where he wants to put up a lot of show. Ajnanis put up a lot of show and demand too much. All these should be done. There are protocols and protocols and protocols to just make sure that they feel respected and they feel dignified. But a Jnani, if he just walks into a hall, naturally, unknowingly, hands will fold in reverence. And not knowingly, heads will bow down. Why? Because he's a Jnani. There's a poem which is an English poem from my school days. It used to say, "Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing by. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing through," they used to say. Because nobody can see the wind. You only see the reaction around and then decide that yes, wind must have passed this way. So I made a poem out of this. Who has seen God? Neither you nor I. But when the great ones bow their heads, God is passing by. That is how you know God is passing by. Why? Because all the other around him will bow down their head in reverence. That is how you know. When Bhagavan would come for darshan, you should see the reaction of the public. Don't look at Bhagavan. Look at the people sitting there. Look at their reaction. Look at their response to that darshan. And you know this is not ordinary. Yes, there could be very exciting or excited responses to even a celebrity. People jump up and down and shout and make all kinds of noise. That's one type of reaction, but that is not divine reverence, right? You can see the difference between the two. There's a dignity in divinity, and the dignity they invoke when they walk into a hall full of people, and automatically hands fold, automatically heads bow down. They Jnanis are how they are hiding in the plain sight. That's how they are. You can't spot them. And that is their strategy. They don't want that unnecessary attention. 17th shloka. Dishto yenatma vikshepo nirodham kurute tvaso udarastu na vikshiptaha sadhya bhava karoti kim. In a similar tone, Dishto yen atma. The one who has seen the Atman, vikshepaha means all this is distortion of the Atman. These waves are distortions of the ocean, not other than the ocean. They are modifications of the ocean. Like that, the one who sees the whole world is nothing but modification of the pure divine consciousness. Such a person, nirodham kurute tvasau, there is no need. Nirodham means restraint or suppression of that is not required for such a person, because he sees everything as just modification of the same self. He is not interested in the modifications, he is interested in the self. So what is there for him to stop or avoid? Nothing is needed. Let it be the way it is. Then udarastuna vikshiptaha, the one who is udara charita, the one whose mind has broadened, whose wisdom has happened to whom, such a person is never disturbed by these modifications that are happening. So there is no interest in him to go and stop it from happening or change it from happening or restrain himself or restrain the world. He allows the world to go on as it is. He doesn't go and interfere with anything. He's never distracted in the first place. So there is nothing to restrain. I should stop eating this. I should not go there. I should not talk to these people. I should not engage in this, that. All those ideas disappear. Because he sees self only in everything. How can he behave differently with different people? It's not possible for him. He sees the same in everything. So that cannot. Those who have not seen, they suffer. The sloka says, those who have not seen the self, they get disturbed by the modification. The one who has seen does not have any disturbance. Sadhya abhava karoti kim. Because there is nothing to be achieved and changed in this world. This is how he thinks. Sadhya means to be achieved. Abhava, there is no need for it. Karoti kim, what should he do in this world? No, why are you building schools and trying to change the lives of people and all this stuff when everything is perfect? Yes, my doing this is also a part of that perfect plan. That there will be people like this, and my job is to open schools and work for them. That's all it is. No, but you said just now you don't need to do anything in this world. I am not doing any which ways. It is being done. Like those people are supposed to be ignorant and uneducated, I am supposed to be somebody who is supposed to build schools and educate them. Not that I am doing it for their sake and saving them and transforming the world. That also is not my doing. That is also not my idea. Whatever needs to be done, it's being done. Ignorant people are born, wise people are also born. Both are a part of the process. And the wise person is told to look after the ignorant. He is very much willing to do it. He has no problem with it. Why is not problem? Because he is not a doer of anything. If he is a doer, it is his idea and initiative, then he has to suffer. When he has never initiated a thing, he is just sitting. Whenever the call comes, does whatever needs to be done. The divine call comes, he does, and then goes back and sits again. That's how it is. Like the peons waiting outside the offices of room. What do they do? Whole day they keep sitting there on their bench. Whenever there's a bell ringing from the officer's cabin, they get up and go attend to the need, and then they come back and sit on the same place. That's all they do, isn't it? Attenders. Likewise, these Gyanis are. They are sitting happily in their place. When call comes from God, get up, build a school. Okay, let's go build a school. Be finish building, now go back, sit in your place. That is how they live. They don't think on their own and decide and do. That idea does. They appear to be thinking, deciding, and doing, and even enjoying or not enjoying. But these are all at the surface. These are all modifications of the self. They don't pay attention to it. It seems Ramakrishna Paramsa had a very, very dear disciple of his. He was an illiterate, uneducated person, but he was always serving Ramakrishna Paramsa. His name was Gopal or something. He was so fond of him that he used to wake up and see his face. He only has to attend to everything that Ramakrishna needed, from food to his bath, clothes to worship to all the items. So he was like integral part of Ramakrishna's life. And all the time he was there around him. But one fine day he developed some desire of the world. He wanted to go, maybe found a girl or wanted to marry and lead a normal life. So one fine day he just disappeared, it seems. When Ramakrishna Paramsa woke up, he was extremely distraught. No, he's a Jnani and all that is one side, and a great devotee of Mother Kali is another side. He had Vivekananda like very, very eminent disciples also leave it aside. But his love for this one little uneducated young boy was so much that he was very, very distressed and crestfallen. And he kept on saying, when will he come back? When will he come back? Will somebody go and look for him? He told he'll go to the village and he will return, but he never returned. When will somebody find out about his whereabouts? Will he return at all? He used to go on lamenting. All these people around him was thinking, is he a Jnani at all? Till yesterday he told us, don't be attached, don't be this, don't be that, and all that. And today, when that boy is not there, he's crying tears. What should we do with him? So like this, some days pass. After some days, he overcome or seemingly overcome the emotions of losing that boy or whatever, and then became very normal and started doing his regular chores and lost himself again in his teaching, preaching, devotion, worships. So people also forgot about that episode. One fine day, I think this boy would have gone, tried out something in life, didn't work out. Finally remembered Ramakrishna and came back to seek his refuge. And somebody came running from the gates to tell Ramakrishna, who was busy conversing with people, go, Ramakrishna, this boy has come back. He's there. For a moment, Ramakrishna almost instinctively got up from his seat in that excitement to go and see him. But the next moment he sat down. He said, I don't want to see him. That's over. I never saw him again. So, these jhanis are like that. We do not know for what births, what merit, what punyam that boy was with Ramakrishna serving him so dearly. So much so this Ramakrishna could not live a day without him. All the time asking, he has to attend to everything. If anybody else does, he wouldn't allow, he wouldn't be happy. No, ask him only to come and serve. He was like that, very, very particular about it. But though he lamented the loss of that person, but once the person returned after many days, instinctively, that like a maternal instinct or something, a friendly instinct, you just got up to receive or see him in that excitement, but the next moment the wisdom, his jnana, immediately told him, no, that period, that time is over, just sit down. And he sat down, and that was over. I have seen this with Bhagwan so many times. How many times he has cried over students who left and complained and tell that how much pain that boy has given me, how much love I gave, how much attention, how much care I took, but they did, he will complain. But next few days later, he's overcome all that. And he will never even, doesn't even remember anything of it. As if it never happened. I don't know how these Gyanis live there. I used to think, like, I've started learning from these great ones, that this is going to happen every now and then. And you better overcome that. You feel hurt for a day or two, because you have poured in so much of yourself into somebody, and then it takes a while to retrieve everything. But it is okay. But as you become Jnani, very quickly you are able to disengage. See, that is the beauty of Jnana. Without Jnana, once you get inside, you cannot get out. That is the biggest danger of being in the world, because we very easily get sucked into that Chakravyuha. We don't know how to exit. So the exit strategy is also very important. Just in entries, you make any investment, first thing investors will ask is, okay, I'll make investments. What is the exit strategy? When can I get out of this company? Because I'm not here to lifelong sit with you. It's your company, you are the promoter. I'm only an investor. Tell me what is my exit strategy. That is the first question they ask. Same thing a Gyani should ask. Okay, I will enter, I will do. What is my exit strategy? You tell me. That is how they work in the world. 18th shloka. It says, Dhiro loka viparyasto vartamanopi lokavat na samadhim na vikshepam na lepam sasya pashyati. He sees himself in everything, swasya, everything as himself, swasya pashyati. So what happens to this person? Such a dhira, the discriminating one, loka viparyasto, though he seemingly acts in a worldly way, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, got so fond of that boy that he was not able to even eat or sleep when the boy left. Like that, loka viparyasto, they appear to work as if they're working in contradiction to their spiritual self, as if they're working in the world like normal, ordinary, attached beings. Vartamanopi lokavat. And as the need, as people behave in the world, they start behaving like this. So they may behave contradictory to the worldly things or behave according to the worldly things. You never know what they will do. But they live like that, sometimes contrary to the worldly ways, that is withdrawn and totally secluded and totally detached and not interested. In the other side, they may just become so interested, attached, and so involved. Both ways. But such a people who have seen the self, na samadhi, there is no samadhi for that. I am equanimous now. Next moment I have lost my equanimity. It doesn't happen to. They are always in the steady state only. Na vikshepam, these distractions and modifications do not affect them. Na lepam swasya pashyati. Some places it is written as lopam, some places it has been written as lepam. Both idea is basically there is no fault or there is no attachment for a jnani. Appears to have got attached, appears to have got involved. But deep inside, they are not attached, not involved, nothing binds them because they see themselves only in everything. As I said, if you enter a room full of mirrors, you see everything as your reflection. Now, which one is better, which one is not good, how do you differentiate? All are you. So, which one do you choose and which one do you reject? There is nothing like that for these Gyanis because on the inside, they are like that. They don't care. Next sloka is on 18.19. It says, Bhava abhava vihino yah tripto nirvasano buddha naiva kinchit kritam tena loka drishtya vikurvata. Bhava abhava vihinaha. This exists, this does not exist. Both ideas disappear because only one thing exists for themselves. World exists for me and now world does not exist for me. Both ideas are false because the snake was never there in the rope, isn't it? So now you say no, snake existed, now snake does not exist. This idea itself is wrong because there was never the snake, there was only the rope. So if somebody says, I saw a snake, I got scared, now the snake is not there, so I am not scared. The Jnani will say there was never the snake, so there is no question of you getting scared or not getting scared. These both are your modifications of your mind, they were your imaginations. So bhava abhava vihinaha, being there or not being there, both do not exist. Yah tripto nirvasano buddha, the one who is buddha means the one who is knowledgeable, the wise one. Nirvasanaha, free of desires. Triptaha, satisfied. He is full of satisfaction. Purnamada Purnamidam. As I said, nobody can add to them, nobody can remove from them. They are complete by themselves. Such a person, naiva kinchit kritam tena loka drishta vikurvata. Though he does things, kritam, kinchita, anything that he does in this world, never, naiva, tena, of them, loka drishtya vikurvata. Though they are seen as being working by the worldly people in the worldly way, but within themselves they are never the doers. They don't do anything. Then how does all this happen? It happens through them, they don't do it. Like instruments are there. That day we saw robotic surgery, right? This person is controlling the thing with a joystick in his hand. These are just two simple things. There the instruments are all in the heart of that patient, far away. And from here he is controlling, the machine picks up suture, it sews the skin or whatever, that pericardium, it cuts with the scissor like thing, all that it does. But the machine is not doing, control is from in the hand of this robotic surgeon. The machine is just following the command. So it appears that the machine is doing everything. If somebody does not know there is a person operating it, what it will look like? Oh, the machine is so intelligent, it knows where to cut, how to stitch, how to do things. So amazing. But then you have to tell, wait, look on the other side. There is a controller to this machine. He is the surgeon. Machine is simply obeying. So these jnanis are like that robotic machine, the robotic arm. Appears to be doing a lot of things, but actually they are not doing. There is somebody else who is doing through them. Which is the somebody else? That is that divine consciousness. It's not their mind and body which are doing things. It is the divine consciousness which is animating the mind and body of the jnani. Therefore, they have no idea of doership at all. So there is no enjoyership. The biggest suffering that we have in this world is that of doership only. No. So with that, I come to one last shloka for today, the 20th. This is very, very favorite of mine, and I keep quoting it often. It's on 144, which says, Pravruttau va nivruttau va naiva dhirasya durgraha yada yat kartumayati tat kritva tishtata sukham. This I keep quoting. Pravruttau, to engage in the world. Nivruttau, to disengage from the world. Naiva dhirasya durgraha. It is never a problem for the wise one. They don't insist, I have got, just now I started, now I cannot leave it. Let me finish this, then only I'll come out of it. They have no attachment. If needs to be done, they get inside, they do it. If it's not to be done, they just withdraw. Like the machine, the robotic arm has no problem with the surgery completed or not. You think it cares? It doesn't even know whom it is doing a surgery on. Is it a boy or a girl, woman or a man? It doesn't even know what kind of surgery is going to perform, ASD, VSD or what else. Surgeon knows everything. Surgeon will control it and do what is necessary. So machine has no problem. Like that, you stop the machine or start the machine, machine is not going to say, I don't want to operate on this woman, I don't like her. I will operate on that man. It doesn't say anything. It's just doing its part. The operator, the surgeon is actually the one who decides everything. So for engaging or disengaging from the world is not a problem. Tell them you have got to do this today. They'll fully get involved and finish it. And next day you tell enough, you just withdraw and go elsewhere. They'll withdraw and go away. Humanness, which makes us engage and not allowed to disengage, or makes us disengage and never allow us to engage again. These things don't exist in the dhira, the wise one. What does he do? How does he live then? Yada yat kartum ayati tat kritva tishtata sukham. Whatever comes his way, he does that and he's at peace. If it doesn't come his way also, he simply sits. If it comes his way and God says, okay, today we have to do this, let's get up and do this. God says, enough, enough you did. Now stop it. Go back and sit in your place. Go back and sit in your place. No idea. I was doing, how could you stop me? I should have finished it. Nothing, no questions asked. We got into the comfort zone. That is the worst in the spiritual path. Never become too comfortable with anybody, any place, any situation. Then you will never grow spiritually because God has plans. He wants to put you somewhere else. Maybe that is good for your spiritual growth and you should agree to that. Not complain and resist and cry and all that. So that should not happen on the spiritual path. So that is the idea of these jnanis. They're amazing. They just do as it comes to them. They don't cry and complain. They don't, because they just know. They just know this is how I should be flowing. I should have flow like a river, not freeze, not stagnate. I should flow. Flow is life. Bhagavan used to say. To flow is to live. To stagnate is to die. Love should flow. Should never stagnate on this person, in this place, in this situation. Only I can love. Beyond this, I cannot love and serve. That is not something that I like. That kind of rigidity should not be there in us jnani. Jnani is very flexible, very adaptable. Of course, he does what needs to be done. There are rules that they are to be followed. Certain things needs to be, when you're running a hospital, there are some standards they have to be stuck to. There are patients' lives on line. Everybody has to follow a certain discipline order. And the jnani, if in charge of such a thing, will ensure that all these things are followed. The process is right. People are cultured. They are committed. They are competent. All that he will ensure. But beyond that, he won't get in. He won't get involved in anything emotionally. Similarly to all these. That is why I said only jnanis should run institutions. Ajnanis running institutions is a disaster, especially spiritual and social institutions. You see the politics of the place, if it is run by ajnanis, you look at what has happened. Kings who are ajnanis ran the kingdoms, how many wars and conflicts. Ajnanis everywhere are a trouble. Jnanis alone should run. A king should be a philosopher, a philosopher should be a king. The king philosopher policy of Socrates. That is what is required for the world. You cannot become a leader unless you are spiritual. So all these leadership funders that we are hearing every day, they are missing on the spiritual aspect. But my one little cent of advice to all the leaders is become spiritual, then be a leader. Because without you being spiritual, you will lead the entire organization in the wrong direction. So be spiritual, be unattached. That's when you should be a leader. If you are willing to give it up just like that, then only go and sit on the chair. If you find it difficult to get up, don't sit at all. That kind of detached leadership, spiritual leadership is what the country and the world needs today. And that leadership Ashtavakra is teaching to Janaka. And through Janaka, all of us are learning. So these lessons are very important for everybody, especially people who are in charge of leadership positions, because they are leading a whole lot of people. They shouldn't do it wrong. That'd be a great disservice. And it is to applies to everybody. You are leader of a family, you are the head of the family, you should be good. You are a leader of an organization, you should be good. You are a leader of a community, you can be a leader of the nation. Everything. That's why in Singapore story I was telling, everything went right for them. Great leadership, absolutely clear in what they wanted to achieve. Economic prosperity and progress in an equitable and harmonious society. They achieved it. But spiritual, self-satisfied, godly society, that was not on the leadership agenda. So it was never achieved. You only get what you are focusing on, right? You don't focus on something, you don't get it. But India has a great way of teaching the world how to lead the world. Ashtavakra Gita has so many practical tips. And Janaka, who is going to lead the kingdom, should have these qualities. And that is why Janaka is remembered by Krishna. And he's been quoted as an example to Arjuna, who is in the middle of the battlefield with a dilemma. What should I do and what should I not do? He says, do behave like Janaka. Because Janaka is the right way of leading the organization or the army. So that is the beauty of Ashtavakra Gita. It's so practical. Please think thoroughly, contemplate on it and put it into practice. Detached leadership, today's mantra.